Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of tea with snacks or coffee if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who decided OP as a babysitter and left her child. Please subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy it. Cast. M. Entitled Parent, EB. Entitled Brat, me. I don't know who this is, M. Mom, B. Brother, no part in story, PO1 PO2. Police officers 1 and 2. Starting off the story, my mom had her friends over for dinner because she hasn't seen them in 5 years and they have a 4-year-old kid. Also the mom has a super big, where is the manager, look. Anyways, they come over and I eat dinner because I'm the nice host. I ate with my guests. Also, anytime I have anyone over I lock my door from the outside if I'm out and inside if I'm in, and my door is damaged because I slammed it once and a part on the side came off. There isn't a big hole in the door. So I see EB running towards my room and I don't think anything about it because it's locked. I have my gaming PC in there, it's a laptop, important later. Then I hear a door open and I'm very protective of my stuff, so I get up off the dinner table to see my door open and I think what the hell how, turns out the kid unlocked the door to how I don't even know. He goes into my room and sees my gaming chair and immediately climbs up on it and then tries to climb up to my desk where my laptop is. I freak the hell out and I grab him and put him on the ground, trying not to hurt him, and I say, EB, you cannot climb on my belongings like that. Why not? This kid said not, but he's 4. Because it's expensive and you could break it. So? Just get out. So the kid leaves the room and not 40 seconds later I hear, excuse me M, and I crap you not, this woman stomped to my room like Godzilla then entered very calmly with Eb. Why wouldn't you let my son play? What, he never said anything about play, he was just climbing on. I don't give a crap, let my son play on your computer, and you're too old to be playing anyway, I'm 13. All my games are 18, I can't let him. Again, I don't give a crap, just let him play whatever. So she left without EB and just said screw it and let him play and choose whatever game. I swear on my life I should have just put Uncle Mafkins, because this little crap clicked on the first game he saw on Steam, which was the Forest horror survival game, and I was like, crap, not actually, not kidding. Literally 5 minutes into the game he doesn't know what to do and just slams my mouse and I was like, oh crap bro, that's a no, and I jump in front of my laptop trying to be the shield and he literally punches me. I don't care because it didn't hurt. Then when he realizes I won't let him play, he runs out to his mother and she excuses herself again, walks calmly to my door and shuts it quietly and starts screaming like my mom couldn't hear it, and it was a soundproof room, but mother screwed, my mom was outside calling someone, so screw me, my mom's deaf. Anyway, I'm much taller than EM, still important later, so the convo goes like this. I thought I told you to let my son play. Yes I did, but no freaking buts, you let my son play again right freaking now. He tried slamming my crap, and don't interrupt me, he tried slamming my mouse and destroying it. I don't give a crap about your mouse, starts unplugging the PC. What the hell are you doing? Get out of my house, pulling her off while her child is trying to climb it again. I pull the kid off. How dare you touch my child, you harasser. She slapped me and I'm in disbelief. EM then manages to pull my computer off and starts walking away till I turn around from disbelief. What the hell do you think you're doing? At this point my mother comes into the room. Grabs laptop, what is going on here? Your son wouldn't let my son play games on his box, so we took it and he's too old to play games anyway. Give my son his laptop back right now please. With the biggest smirk on my face I open my mouth and yell, you ugly freaking cow Karen witch butt, get the hell out of my house. No. EM starts calling someone. Yes, hello, I have a guy here who just touched my child and is verbally harassing me and assaulting me. Most whimpery voice ever. It is at address, it is a woman and man. No weapons, no. Yes, I'm safe right now. Okay, thank you. We didn't do crap about it, but she called the cops, the freaking cops, so the cops come. PO1 is male, PO2 is female. Not important, just trying to paint the picture. PO1 talking to my mother. Excuse me miss, were you the one who? Yes, I'm the one who called, oh my lord, they assaulted my son and me. I'm standing right next to my mother. I have no clue what she's talking about. Please wait while she's talking. She attempts to explain everything, even how I stopped her kid from climbing on my desk, how she hit me, how I yelled at her, how I pulled her kid off my desk. It sounds like you've made a pretty bad image for yourself considering it's his house and your kid was climbing on his stuff, so he had every right and you hit him, so you're pretty much at fault if you ask me. This is pretty stupid, you're right. Now for some reason this made EM super duper mad. Did you just call me stupid? No ma'am, Who the hell do you think you are? Her dumb tries to tackle the officer and it's the most cringy thing when she just falls off him. And you're going to jail. Cuffs M and asks if I would like to press charges. I said no and just wanted her out of my house. I never saw EM again and I never saw her on the news for some reason until thought this was gonna be a bad ending. Have a good day everyone. The EM's lucky the cops didn't punch her for wasting their time. Like man, you are in his house and trying to steal his stuff, what do you expect him to react like? Perhaps she thought he would be perfectly fine with her taking his laptop. So little backstory. I recently moved into a new house in a small town, the kind where everyone knows everyone. I moved to this town from a bigger city, so it was a bit of an adjustment, but I liked the quiet and it was closer to my new job, which was a plus. My new job was at a daycare center, important later, that opened at 6 in the morning. I requested the opening shift so that I would get off at 2 p.m. and be able to have some free time in the afternoons. Now when I moved into the neighborhood, a few of the neighbors stopped by to welcome me and give me plates of cookies, casseroles, etc. One woman, our future EM, and her family came by to say hello and asked me where I worked. I told them I was a daycare worker. Oh really? I've been looking for somewhere to have my boy stay when I'm at work over the summer. What ages do you watch? 5 to 6-year-olds. That's perfect. She says this with a smile. Yay, I'd be happy to see him in my class if you ever decided to enroll him. This was the seed that would sprout into a giant tree of crazy. Now on with the show. So it was a typical morning for me, up at the butt crack of dawn and out the door at 5:45 to get to work by 6. It was a pretty uneventful day, nothing major happening, so by the time 2 p.m. rolled around the day had flown by. Come to find out this was not the case for everyone today. I arrived home to find a police car and the EM with her 5-year-old son talking to police on my porch. I was confused as there was no reason for her to be there and no one had tried to contact me about anything happening at my house. I park and get out of my car and start to walk to the house and I call out. What is going on? The EM was not talking to the police, she was screaming and upon seeing me she completely exploded. How dare you leave my son outside all day? He could have been kidnapped. She continued on like that as 2 police officers approached me. PO1 and PO2. Excuse me miss, but did you leave this little boy outside while you were gone? No. I left for work early this morning, I'm just now getting home. I've been at work all day. At this point I look over at EM and her son. The son was filthy, it looked like he had been playing in the dirt, his knee was scratched but not bloody, and he was holding an open backpack that had contained a coloring book and crayons, based on what was laying all over my porch. The officers looked stunned a bit and looked at each other. They asked me to follow them and we make our way up onto the porch. Aren't you going to arrest her? She endangered my son. What kind of a babysitter are you? Babysitter? Yes, you're a babysitter. You told me you were when I stopped by before. Well, some babysitter you are. Look what you did to my son. You said you would be happy to watch him. Oh no, you misunderstood me. I work at a daycare a few minutes away, I don't run a daycare out of my house. I said I would be happy to have him in my class at the daycare. Don't lie. You're just trying to cover your butt. Can you prove that you were at this daycare today? I say that I can and pull out my phone and called the center, the PO talking to my boss for a few minutes before handing me back my phone. Ma'am, was this woman here when you dropped your son off? Yes, she was. I saw her through the window. Ma'am, her boss just confirmed that she was at work. She's lying. I bet she just called a friend to cover her butt. I bet you don't even have a job. That's why she has to run a crapping babysitting service out of her crappy house. I just got home from work. There weren't even any cars in the driveway. Yes, there was. You probably left through the back door. You were supposed to watch him. You said you would watch him and you never opened the door for him to come inside. He's hungry and thirsty and look at him. He's covered in dirt. You should have let him in and watched him. Weren't you listening? I'm not a babysitter, I work at a daycare, I said I would be happy to watch him if you enrolled him there. She's lying. Ma'am, did this woman speak to you this morning about watching your son? No, like I said, I was at work by 6. Have the two of you ever set up a time for you to watch her son? No. This is only my second conversation with her, the first was me explaining where I work. I guess she got confused. You lying little witch. I'm going to tell everyone how crapping you are at babysitting and you'll never get any work again. Good luck keeping your house when you're unemployed. For the last time lady, I'm not a babysitter. Ma'am, you left your child here without any confirmation that anyone was even home. So? She's a babysitter, she's supposed to watch him. Ma'am, I'm sorry but I'm going to have to arrest you for child endangerment. The EM then turns from angry to furious and begins yelling at me again for misleading her, completely dropping the whole she's lying story and saying she's going to sue me. It's been a few weeks now, the mom was let go for whatever reason and the little boy goes to the daycare I work at now. I just wish I had a picture of the EM's face when she realized I was her son's teacher and that I wasn't lying after all. But that's a story for another time. What type of parent just leaves their child on a stranger's doorstep without confirming if this stranger will even be home to help? Even if she was a babysitter, you don't just plop your baby on her front porch and leave. So for some backstory, I am adopted. My biological parents, BP, gave me up at birth. My adopted parents, AP, adopted me when I was young, but were always open about my adoption and everything. They never kept anything about it away from me and always told me the truth when I had questions about my adoption. I never had too many questions about my adoption though, as I just wanted to believe that my AP were the people who gave birth to me. I, 16F, had the opportunity to meet my BP the other day. It was my choice whether I wanted to or not, and I decided to meet them. I thought that maybe there was a chance that my BP weren't heartless idiots and that maybe they were just falling on hard times and couldn't support a child and that now they were doing better and wanted to actually form a bond with me. How wrong I was. My BP and my AP talk it out and set up a date and time to meet up and my AP relay it all to me to make sure I was okay with everything. For the most part I was just agreeing with everything because I was nervous not to make a bad first impression. After a little bit of talking and discussing a time and date had been settled on. Directly 2 weeks from now at a restaurant called Texas Roadhouse, the fanciest restaurant we have where I live. The week before I have to go meet my BP, my adopted mom, AM, took me shopping at the mall for some new clothes. I've never been too fond of dresses and stuff and my AM knew this and so instead of taking to someplace like Kohl's or Claire's, she took me to Hot Topic and Spencer's where we found a couple fancy things that I liked and that we thought my BP would like as well. Some time had passed and I was getting ready to meet my BP. I put on the clothes and hop into my AP car so that they could take me. The plan was that my AP would drop me off and they would hang around the area so that if something happened they could get to me quickly if something happened. We get there and after a small pep talk from my AP we go into the restaurant and meet my BP. Right off the bat as my BP looked at me, they mumbled stuff under their breath, which I can only assume was about my outfit. My BP themselves looked like your typical snooty rich parents as they were decked out in all type of jewelry, fancy clothes, etc. Already I was getting a bad vibe from them. We agreed and after like a minute my AP leave so that me and my BP could eat and get to know each other. So me and my BP get escorted to a table and sit down. A couple seconds pass and my biological mother, BM, says something. So how are you liking your life so far? It's good, it's good. My biological dad, BD, then chirps in. Tell us about it. There's not much to tell you about. I live as I presume any normal child would. Okay, do you have a boyfriend? I froze at this question. I am not interested in men and although I normally am not afraid to show it, you were this time. My BP looked like very judgmental people and I didn't want to have a bad first impression. After a couple seconds of silence I give the best answer I could. No. I told I didn't have a boyfriend, which technically wasn't lying. The rest of the day goes pretty much exactly like this, just with a couple typical Karen things thrown in by my mom. She would constantly snap and call over waiters, treat the staff like crap, etc. All of this was pretty bad and I wanted to call my AP and leave, but for whatever reason decided not to. An hour or two of awkward entitlement pass and just as I was about to finish my food my BP says something I will never forget. OP, we need your help with something. You have a biological brother who is currently in the hospital. He got into a car crash a couple of days before we contacted you. He needs a kidney transplant and your dad and I have both offered up ours, but we weren't matches. The only person who does have a match is you. We hope you're willing to give up your kidney for your brother. This broke me. I knew why they all of a sudden wanted to meet up with me. They didn't want to form a relationship with me or get to know me. They wanted to use me to save their actual son. I did not know I had a brother. At that point I frankly did not care. I told them no. They abandoned me as a child, and 16 years later they want me to save a brother I never knew existed. I told them no and walked out. I walked out of the restaurant and called my AP, my real parents. I told them to come pick me up and they said they were at the Target right next door to me and said to wait in the car or come look for them in the store. I opted for the car. I didn't want to be around anyone at that point, so I just walked and searched for my AP car. My BP probably came after me, but I don't know that for sure, as when I left the restaurant driveway I didn't look back. After about 20 minutes in the car crying, my AP come and immediately noticed that I was crying despite my best efforts to hide it. They asked what was wrong and I told them everything. They seemed just as pissed as I was but comforted and consoled me in the time. I'm glad I'm adopted. As far as I'm concerned, my real and only parents are my adopted ones. Screw those people. Hey child, we gave up, can we take your kidney? How much more entitled could one get than to freaking ask for an organ? Glad you have actual caring parents and friends compared to those idiots. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman with a man who thought OP tried to poison their daughter and called the police. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.